Hey guys, welcome to sunny Kotor in Montenegro. To get here, we've just done 6 nights and 7 days travelling through Albania. And so to celebrate our time in that wonderful country, we've put together a little video of all our highlights, of all the places we've been and the people we've met. So hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, we'll see you at the end.
So we based ourselves in Saranda, which was the southern part of Albania. And from Saranda, we were able to do some really cool day trips. The first of which was to the UNESCO listed city of Gjirokastra. And before you even get over to Gjirokastra, you got to go over the hill, take this road over into this next valley. And this is the view that hits you when before you even get to the city, and you're struggling to even contain yourself while you're on the bus. It's just such a cool introduction to the place. When you finally get there, these are the little streets that you walk up, these tiny old cobblestone streets with all these people just chilling out. It's really cool. And then you get up to these little intersections here, and if you can see it straight in front of you is the main attraction, which is the castle. And when you enter the Gjirokastra castle, you walk down this really cool tunnel here, and what you can see in front of you is actually those things pointing out are actually guns from World War II. And it's really weird when you're walking down this castle that's been dated back from like the 13th century, and you get to see guns from the last World War, and somehow it just works, and it's a really eerie way to enter the castle, and it really resonated quite a lot with me. And as you can see as well, it's in really good condition, and I think it costs like 200 leki for you to enter, which is less than a pound, and it's just unbelievable. Something like this in the UK would cost you what, £15-20 at least per person to come in, and this costs you a pound. So it's definitely well worth getting in there. And the view you can see in front of you here is when you actually walk through that tunnel. You get out into that courtyard of the castle, and as you can see, it's a really cool, pristine area. The castle still is in relatively good condition, and the views themselves are just amazing. That's what kept getting me. I was taken away by the where it was situated, and just standing there looking out over that valley with those mountains. I really enjoyed that. From this view here, you can actually see Gjirokastra itself. And the town doesn't look like much, and I mean, I didn't really rate the town itself. Obviously, walking up those cobblestone streets was really cool, and the castle was awesome, but there's also these Ottoman houses, and you can go in there, and basically they're exactly the same as what they were when the Ottomans lived in them, and that's also something I'd recommend if you're in Gjirokastra. The next day trip we did was a place called Butryn, and Butryn is some old Greek and Roman ruins, and I've seen a lot of Roman ruins and Greek ruins. Obviously, I've been through Greece and Turkey and Italy and various other places where you see these ruins, but I was really taken by these ones because you're not expecting them at all in Albania. And as you can see, they're in pretty good condition as well. And this was my favourite part, because you're walking along this boardwalk, and then you get into this amphitheatre here, and this used to seat roughly 2,500 people, and you walk in there, and it's just stunning. I just really liked this part, and you walk around and you can really picture what it must have been like for the crowd sitting down there and the people performing to them. It was something quite special, actually, and it was probably one of the better ruins that I've actually ever been to for some reason. I don't know why. A lot of it was probably because I wasn't expecting it. And this is the view here that looks out over it. So something that you'll notice is there's heaps and heaps of trees. They've obviously, the trees have overtaken where the city used to be, but that makes it so much cooler, because just beyond those trees you can see in front of you is a whole bunch of other ruins. So it kind of feels like you get to one area, and then you walk to the next area, and it just opens up, and all of a sudden there's some Roman baths, or there's an old monastery, and there's just all these different places tucked in amongst on the island. And this here is the castle at the top, and what this does is this gives you an idea of just how big Butryn actually was. So it went right up to that river that you can see in front of you, and interspersed amongst all those trees there is all these different collections of ruins. They're all signposted, and they're all in English, and it's really worth going. And on your way back, you can stop at this place, Samu. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't go for a swim because it was still quite cold, but you can get the gist of what it must be like when the temperature hits 40 degrees in the middle of summer, how unbelievably beautiful it must be to stop and go for a swim. After we'd finished in Saranda, we headed up to Tirana, the capital. Now, I wasn't sure what to expect, but as you can see from this view, the city centre itself is pretty unchaotic and really clean. It's full of young people because there's a university nearby, but there's also some really cool old communist buildings. Now, one thing you must do if you're in Tirana is do a walking tour. And our guide, Ghazi, just told us some amazing history of the whole city, and you can find the details below this video. The next day we headed up to Skodra, which is way right up in the north of Albania, pretty much on the border with Montenegro. And in Skodra, once again, there is a castle right at the top of the hill, which overlooks the town and some amazing views. And right now, I'm just going to stop talking and let you enjoy this moment, because it's something special. Yes, I know I have a GoPro, mate. Check this out. What you saw before was looking to the north of the castle. Right now we're looking south, and there just aren't any words to describe how amazing standing up on top of this old castle, looking down on this view is, so just going to enjoy it for yourselves. Now, one thing I wasn't sure about when we got to Albania was transport. I tell you what, it could not be any easier. It makes Uber look like it was something that was back in the prehistoric age. This guy here drives in between Tirana and Skodra, holding up that sign. Now, this is when we were heading to Skodra, and all he does is drives around, and if you see him, you put your hand out, and he pulls over and asks you where you want to go, and if you want to lift with him, you just jump in. It is so incredibly easy and cheap, and I've never encountered a more easier way of travelling around the country. We basically just stood on the road and waited for one of these guys to drive past. It's how we travel around the entire country, totally safe and absolutely ideal. And that brings me to the end of our tour around Albania. And if someone was to ask me what I thought about this trip, all I go back to is something that someone once told me. And they said that when you're travelling, it's not so much the experiences or what you do or what you see that makes it so special. It's the people that you meet. And in Albania, we met so many incredible people. They are so warm, they're open, and all they want to do is meet you, get to know you, and help you wherever they can. Albania has totally stolen my heart. I've fallen in love with the country, and all I want is for people to go there and enjoy it too. And to the people of Albania, thank you for showing me your country. Thank you for laughing with me. Thank you for creating an experience that I will never ever forget. I will never forget you, and all I hope is that anyone that hears this or anyone that sees this program will feel the same way about Albania that I do, and come and visit it for yourselves. You will never forget it.